You could be the hardest worker in every room you walk into and still die broke. Meanwhile, someone lazier than you, less talented than you, quietly retires at 40. So what does that person understand that you don't? It isn't a morning routine. It isn't a side hustle. It's 7 invisible glitches running inside your own brain right now. And every one of them is quietly making sure your money never grows. Harvard and Princeton researchers found that just worrying about money drops your thinking by the equivalent of 13 IQ points, more than losing a full night of sleep. You're not making bad decisions because you're careless. Your brain is running on reduced hardware, and it has been for years. We'll go through all 7, but the 7th, the one almost nobody escapes, does more damage than the other 6 combined. We've all been sold the same story. Work hard, and the money will come. It's clean, it's comforting, and it's mostly a lie. Because if hard work alone made people rich, then the hardest working humans on Earth, nurses, farmers, single parents holding down 2 jobs, would be the wealthiest people alive. They're not. And the richest people you can name, half of them barely break a sweat. So if it isn't effort, what is it? For the last 50 years, psychologists and behavioral economists have been answering that exact question. And the answer is uncomfortable. The biggest thing standing between you and money isn't the economy, your boss, or the size of your paycheck. It's the 3 pounds of tissue between your ears. Your brain was built for a world that no longer exists. A world of immediate survival, tribal status, and constant scarcity. Back then, its instincts kept you alive. Today, those very same instincts keep you broke. 7 traps. Each one backed by real studies, real names, real numbers. And right now, you are almost certainly standing in at least 3 of them. Let's start with the one almost everyone falls into first. Reason 1. Your brain treats your future self like a total stranger. Picture this. Someone offers you $100 right now or $200 in a year. Most people grab the 100. On paper, that's insane. You just turned down a guaranteed 100% return. But your brain doesn't run on paper. Scientists call this present bias, and brain scans reveal something eerie. When you imagine yourself in the future, your brain lights up the same way it does when you think about a state ranger. So when you save money, it doesn't feel like a gift to future you. It feels like handing cash to someone you've never met. That's why saving feels like losing. You're not weak. You're wired. Reason 2. Being broke literally makes you worse with money. Remember that 13-point drop from the start? Here's where it comes from. And it's the cruelest trap on the list. In 2013, Harvard's Sendhil Mullainathan and Princeton's Eldar Shafir found that financial stress doesn't just feel bad. It temporarily makes you measurably less intelligent, which means the poorer you feel, the worse your decisions get, which makes you poorer, which makes the next decision worse. The trap tightens the harder you struggle inside it. So no, you don't make bad money choices because you're broke and foolish. You make them because being broke taxes your brain. Poverty isn't a character flaw, it's a cognitive load. Reason 3. You were programmed before you could even count. Psychologist Dr. Brad Klontz spent years studying what he calls money scripts, the beliefs about money we absorb as children and then run silently for the rest of our lives. He found 4 of them. The most damaging is called money avoidance. Deep down, you believe money is bad, that rich people are greedy, that wanting it makes you shallow, that you don't really deserve it. It sounds humble. It almost sounds noble. But Clontz found people carrying these beliefs consistently earn less and save less because a part of them is sabotaging every chance to get ahead. You cannot build something you secretly believe is evil. Reason 4. The finish line moves every time you reach it. Get a raise, and for about 2 weeks, life feels incredible. Then the new car becomes just your car. The bigger apartment becomes just your apartment. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation, and an iron law rides on top of it. Your spending rises to swallow your income every single time. Earn 3,000, you need 3,000. Earn 6, you somehow need 6. The gap that's supposed to turn into wealth never appears because the instant more money arrives, your brain moves the goalposts. This is why people earning 10 times what they used to still feel like they're barely keeping up. You don't have a money problem. You have a moving finish line. Reason 5, and this one stings. You don't actually want to be rich. You want to be richer than the people around you. In 1998, researchers at Harvard asked people a simple question. Would you rather earn $50,000 a year while everyone around you earns 25, or earn 100,000 while everyone around you earns 200? Pure logic says, take the 100,000. But about half the people chose to earn less money as long as they earned more than their neighbors. Let that land. Half of us would take a real pay cut just to feel ahead. Your brain doesn't measure wealth in dollars. It measures it in rank. And rank is a race with no finish line, because there is always someone richer. A nicer car, a better holiday, 2 squares down on your phone screen. You're not chasing freedom. You're chasing first place in a race designed to never end. Reason 6. Your fear of losing a little is costing you everything. Nobel-winning research by Daniel Kahneman found that losing money hurts about twice as much as gaining the same amount feels good. Twice. So your brain becomes obsessed with not losing. And that fear freezes your money in a savings account, earning almost nothing while inflation eats it alive. The guaranteed, invisible loss feels safer than the visible risk of investing. But there's a flip side. The few who do invest often swing too far the other way. One study of 35,000 investors found the overconfident ones traded 45% more and earned less for all that frantic activity. So there are 2 ways to lose: freeze from fear or thrash from ego. Both leave you exactly where you started. Reason 7, the most dangerous one of all. Somewhere along the way, you quietly decided this just isn't for you. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman discovered something he named learned helplessness. When a creature fails enough times at something it can't control, its brain stops trying, even after escape becomes possible. The cage door opens, and it just lies there. Humans do this with money. A few failures, a couple of debts, a plan that fell apart, and a quiet voice settles in. People like me don't get rich. And once you believe that, you stop applying for the better job. You stop learning the skill. You stop trying, and the prophecy fulfills itself. This single belief does more damage than any amount of overspending, because the other 6 traps only cage your behavior. This one cages your hope. Now step back and look at all 7 together. A brain that robs its own future. A mind that gets dumber the more it worries. Childhood beliefs running in the dark. A finish line that always moves. A race against the neighbors. A terror of losing. And a quiet voice whispering that it's hopeless. Notice what's missing from that entire list. Laziness. Not one of these is about how hard you work. In fact, the hardest workers are often the most trapped because they assume effort is the answer. So they pour more and more hours into a machine that was never broken on the effort end. They're rowing harder in a boat with a hole in it. And the hole was never in their hands. It was always in their head. And that, finally, is the good news. The reason for hope I promised you at the start. If the thing keeping you poor were your IQ, your luck, or your background, you'd be stuck with it. But it's none of those. It's psychology, and psychology can be rewired. Seligman proved the very same subjects who learn to give up could be taught, step by step, to try again. You can do the same with money. You start small and winnable. One automatic transfer, your future self can't talk you out of. One belief you finally say out loud and question. One number you actually look at instead of avoiding. Each small win teaches your brain a new story. That effort, applied here, actually pays. You don't get rich by working harder. You get rich by working on the 7 things nobody ever told you were the real problem. The traps are invisible. But invisible was never the same thing as permanent. Here's the uncomfortable truth, though. The way your brain handles money is just one of the ways it runs your life without ever asking your permission. There's another pattern hiding in plain sight. The real reason you feel exhausted even on the days you've done almost nothing. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That video is waiting for you next. If this made you rethink even one thing about yourself, subscribe and stay curious.